I'm going to do also a couple different things here, because I think that if we don't do it, it's going to get in the way of you actually being able to create what you want, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to release you of having to make this make sense or be worthwhile or be joyful or anything like I'm going to release you of anything having to do with any other person at any point in the future that watches this, whether they watch it today, tomorrow, or 30 years from now, right? Right now, you have a thing. You're one that reminded me about this. Self first, right? So for this conversation, I'm just releasing you of having to have to worry about anyone else, right? And the reason for this here is that um, I can imagine that one of the ways, like as you were talking here, the questions that were in my mind here, I was hearing the content, but there's also something that we really look at here in the World Joy Movement, which is the context. As I often say, I'm here to hear the things that aren't being said and to see the things that no one wants to be seen. All right. And I'm still really intrigued by, it almost felt like that you needed to protect someone else entering into this conversation, not necessarily you, but almost like by protecting them, you're protecting you. And this seems really interesting to me. And like, this is part of the train on this one here. The question in my mind was, I wonder how often, like when Philippa is talking about burnout or someone else brings up burnout around Philippa, she feels like she needs to like make them feel okay with like that she's okay. Let me just check it. Let me just check in on that there.
Oh, that was lovely. That was a nice concept. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't even know how any more words for that. That is absolutely that. It's fine now. I've got it under control. You know, that is part of my history and something I have learned so much from. And I've also learned to be grateful of aspects of it. And I'm still working on that gratitude, but it's there, that there is something there. And so, yeah, I definitely think so. But it's raw as well. There is still aspects of it that's raw. So when we brought it up yesterday, it's raw. Yeah. I was nervous because I know it's raw. And maybe it will be raw for the rest of my life. A place where that you know, it's not, maybe it's not about necessarily healing. It's maybe about acknowledging that happened. And it's not about smoothing it over and making it better, because that then kind of diminishes what happened as well. It's like, it happened and it felt like it felt, and it did what it did to me. And so it's not about healing. I guess it's about, for me then, you know, learning to be a part of my life more and more and more, and draw strength from that as well, you know, bringing that with me more and more, which I guess I'm not doing. You know, in many ways, I don't talk about it that much. I don't, you know, it's not.
Yeah. I really appreciate you, Philippa. Like, what's happening right now in this conversation, like what we're doing right now is we're spending some time creating the space for the type of conversation that will get you to someplace different when it comes to burnout, right? When it comes to this part here. It was a thing for me at the beginning to see like, okay, how do I say it? It's almost like, do we have the space right now? If I wanted to go in and just start asking the questions around the burnout and tell me, do we have the space right now for you to be able to actually express it in the fullness of you? Or are there other barriers that might get in the way of you actually being able to go there? So that's where I'm going to ask some things. I think we need to create some agreements for me to feel like I'm really being able to go to the places, and also for me to get a chance to understand, like, yeah, for the communication to come through clear and to be received, right? And I think for you to also go to places that you really want to go. like however it was. I can feel that. I get the sense of like when you came in the beginning with the definition there, that was you creating. If I'm hearing you like that was for me, in a sense of like I'm going to go into this conversation and we're going to talk about something that isn't this. And I also was hearing that isn't joy in your like, and I was also hearing like you're creating the space for you to be okay being in that conversation on this platform, right? Yeah. So that's part of it. I'm hearing one there. So thank you.
Yeah.
Two, for us to like in this co-created area that we're coming here together, my ask is that we make an agreement that we don't worry about anyone else getting any value from this conversation at all, right? Like that, like to be just self first here. That is and I'm going to play that game too, like to just be present with just the two of us here in this space here. Are you in agreement to show up in such a way that no one else needs to get any additional value? It's like you're just here for the thing that you're here for.
Yeah, I am. And I'm going to add to that because it's also what I thought just before I came on this call. And I stood here and I'm like, this is a space I can do this in because I know you can hold that space. Whatever's going to happen, I have complete and utter 100% trust in that you will hold that space for me. And that was a, significant thought for me when I came in here. And therefore means that I can come in as me. I can come in and stand here. I feel grounded. I feel like this is our space, our conversation, and this is for me.
It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself and let's take the conversation to the next level because you're there now.
All right, let's play.